Hi everybody, I got myself a new little toy and I want to show it to you and tell you something about it. The new toy I'm talking about is this nice beautiful little Contax T3. This is a film camera, an analog camera. It's one of the coming from the era of premium fixed focal length super compact film cameras, pocket film cameras. There are a few things I would like to talk about. First of all, I was lucky enough to get it in really good shape. It's fantastic. It's like almost, well, basically looks like new. It's fantastic. It doesn't have the data back, but as a matter of fact I prefer that because that is a little bit thicker, and anyway I wouldn't superimpose anything onto my pictures. Okay, a few things I would like to talk about. This is a 35mm film camera. It has a fixed focal length Carl Zeiss Zonna 2.8 35mm with T-star coating, so it's a really great lens. To switch it on, let me go through the controls a little bit. You have your shutter button here, you have your flash button here, you have a mode button here, you have this little dial to select within menus, and you have this dial here, and that is at the same time the power switch. So you turn it on to P, the lens comes out, and then by pressing this little button here you can move it to an aperture setting, and that's aperture priority, and you can go from 2.8 all the way through to f16 and back, and it's blocked there, and to move it back to P or to off you have to press this little button again, and then you can move it to P and then to the off position, and the lens retracts. The body is made of titanium. As far as I've seen, that doesn't really mean anything specific, because yes, it's tough, but it gets scratched all the same, so it doesn't really mean it's going to be like new all the time. But it's a sign of quality, I would say, or it's like what they like to use for these premium cameras. And besides, it's titanium. It's basically a titanium shell because many parts are made of plastic still. Okay, so let me go through a few things. For my purpose, like street photography, this is a great camera. 35mm is an excellent focal length. However, it does have a few things, or actually one thing that I don't like. You can set many functions here, many even individual functions here. Let me turn it on, for example. Okay, one issue people talk about is, like many of these point and shoot cameras of that time, usually when you turn it on it would switch to flash, automatic flash. I don't like that. I don't want the automatic flash to go off. So what you can do is you can by keeping this button here pressed, it will give you the option to change the settings. Sorry, no, it's like this. You keep it pressed and then you go through it until you find the setting that you prefer. In my case it's the flash off position, and then you either wait for a few seconds or you press the mode button, and that would fix this, lock this position. So when you turn it off and back on, it will be on the off position. Another thing, you press the mode button, you have exposure compensation, I think 2 stops plus and 2 stops minus. Then you can go through, you have your self timer, 10 seconds or 2 seconds or off. You have a long exposure function that goes from 1 second all the way through to I think 180 seconds. And then you can basically deactivate the autofocus and focus manually, but you have to predefine the focus distance. So you can go all the way to infinity or back to autofocus. So that's what it has. However, one thing that I do not like about it is the lack of ISO flexibility. It reads DX coding, so you can put in anything, I think up to 5000 ISO, maybe even 6.4, but there are two problems with this. You cannot override the internal settings. So if I want to push a film, say a 400, I want to push it to 800 or 1600, I cannot do that unless I, well, screw around with the DX coding. Or if I put in a cartridge that does not have DX coding, what will happen, the camera will automatically switch to 100. So that's a little bit of an issue because I like to push my film. I usually use Ilford 400, and I pushed the Delta 400 to 1600, even 3200 with no problem, and I cannot do it with this camera. So basically I'm stuck with either a 100, a 400, or I buy the 3200 from Ilford, and then I'm stuck with the 32, and 32 is maybe a little bit more than I actually want. So this is the only problem I have with this camera. For everything else, it's a great little camera. I don't have sample pictures yet because I've just put through a film here at home to see if it works, to put my feedback onto eBay. I will, however, try to shoot a little bit with it and show you some samples in the next few days. Maybe in a few weeks I will do another review. Maybe I will go more into detail for practical use and everything. However, what I can say, I'm adding this to my collection of small, nice, beautiful cameras, and I'm lucky enough to have a few of these. At first sight, I would say it's nice, but in direct competition, for example, with the GR1V Ricoh, it's not. Maybe I prefer this one. I don't know yet. I will have to see. I will have to try. The size it's a different form factor because it's a little bit shorter, but it's a little bit thicker at the same time. Still, it fits your pocket. It's a little bit heavier maybe, but more or less the same thing. What I definitely prefer is the focal length. The lens is fantastic. I mean, just the few shots that I've taken in the house, I developed the film to have a look at it. Fantastic. So I'll keep you posted. Stay tuned, and I will bring you some more on this nice little toy. Thank you very much, and have a great day.